Have you ever been told to get a document notarized? It sounds pretty simple, right? But there's one specific type of notarization, the Jurat, that carries some serious legal weight. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify exactly what it is and why it matters so much.
I mean, we've all been there. Someone hands you a stack of important papers and just says, hey, go get this notarized. But what are they really asking you to do? What's the notary's job here? And maybe more importantly, what is your job in this whole process? Well, let's clear up all that confusion right now.
We're going to zoom in on one of the most powerful things a notary can do, the Jurat. And I promise, by the end of this, you won't just know what it is, you'll totally get the responsibility you're taking on every time you ask for one.
Okay, so first things first, what exactly is a Jurat? Let's forget about the fancy stamp and the official seal for a second. At its core, it's really a formal process that boils down to 3 absolutely essential actions that you, the signer, have to perform.
So here's the official definition. But the only words you really need to lock on to are sworn or affirmed and truthfulness. See, a Jurat is all about you declaring, with the full weight of a legal oath, that everything written on that paper is true.
And that whole process comes down to these 3 things. They are absolutely non-negotiable. First, you have to physically be there, in person, in front of the notary. Second, you have to sign the document right then and there, not an hour before, not at home. And third, and this is the big one, you have to verbally swear or affirm that what's in the document is the truth.
Now, understanding those 3 steps is so important because that's where we see the huge difference between a jurat and the other common thing a notary does, an acknowledgement. People mix these up all the time, but honestly, they serve completely different purposes.
And it's a totally fair question, right? I mean, on the surface, they look almost identical. It's you, a document, and a notary with a stamp. But what they accomplish legally, worlds apart. And knowing that difference is absolutely key.
And here it is, plain and simple. A Jurat is about certifying the truth. You are swearing an oath that the contents are true. An acknowledgement, on the other hand, is just about certifying your voluntary action. You're just confirming, yep, that's my signature and I signed it willingly. So one is about truth and the other is about your identity and your consent.
Okay, so now you get it. You know what a Jurat is and you know how it's different from an acknowledgement. So let's do a little play-by-play. What actually happens when you sit down at the notary's desk? What's it going to look and sound like?
So, after you've signed on the dotted line and taken your oath, the notary does their part. They'll fill out a special section on the document, often called the notarial certificate, with this very official language. And that creates the permanent legal record that you did this in front of them on this specific day. But before they can sign or stamp anything, we get to the absolute heart of the Jurat, the verbal oath. The notary is legally required to look you in the eye and ask you this question, or something really close to it. This isn't just some formality they're reading off a script. This is the entire point of the meeting.
And your response here is crucial. You can't just nod or give a thumbs up. You have to give a clear, audible answer, like yes or I do. That verbal confirmation is what seals the deal. It's what legally binds you to the truthfulness of everything in that document.
All right, so you might be thinking, why all this ceremony? The in-person meeting, the verbal oath, what's the big deal? Well, there's a really good reason. Let's talk about the kinds of real-world documents that demand this super high level of verification.
Yeah, this isn't for your library card application. This is for the heavy hitters. We're talking about things like affidavits, which are basically written testimony used as evidence in court, or depositions, or sworn financial statements. For these kinds of documents, your word has to be legally rock solid. A Jurat makes sure that if any of those statements turn out to be false, you can be held accountable, under penalty of perjury.
So look, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. It's all about the oath. An acknowledgement just confirms it's your signature. But a Jurat certifies your oath. It completely transforms a simple signature into a legally binding statement of truth. So the next time you're sitting in front of a notary, you'll know exactly what's happening. You can ask yourself, am I just confirming that I signed this, or am I swearing that it's all true? Because now you know, it's not just a signature on a page, it's your word. And you get to decide just how much weight it carries.